So right now we are all here probably as somebody that wants something, that needs something, or tries something. Somebody that has opinions, somebody that is confused, somebody that feels worried, somebody that feels superior or inferior. Notice also not only that you are here, but also notice as what kind of attitude are you here? What kind of personality is currently sitting here? Am I, for example, if I ask myself, am I right now sitting here as a teacher? Or do I sit here as a student? Or as a secure person or an insecure person? As who or what am I sitting here right now? You can ask yourself this question. You can see there's certain tendencies arising. Maybe we are sitting here as someone that waits. I'm waiting for some insight, for a deeper understanding of life, for more peace. When will it ever come? When will I ever be more happy or blissful? Maybe we sit as someone that is active, trying to get somewhere. So what's the next step? What's my plan? I need to get enlightened. Or I need to become more myself. I need to find myself. Where am I? Notice that these tendencies also change all the time. If you're here as someone that waits, you will not stay as someone waiting for the rest of your life. And you might become someone that's hungry, or someone that's annoyed. What Tobi is talking about today is boring. I've heard it before. Maybe you're bored, just boredom. Doesn't make any sense. Confused. So I'm not encouraging you to change yourself. I rather encourage you to wake up to how it is. It's more simple, more direct actually. We don't have to try to be here. Is in fact the only thing that's totally effortless and natural about you is your presence. Isn't it? It's this natural sense of being here. Can you feel that? Can you notice that? It's very, very simple actually. Just here. You're just here. And then the mind creates a story. It comes, it rings at your door, and it wants to sell you something. So it opens a bag, it takes out a picture, it's a photo of you in 5 years. And then it tells you, look, this is how you should be like. All healthy, happy, radiant, always blissed out. Look at this picture, this is how you need to be like. And then we buy. Oh yeah, I am not good enough the way I am, therefore I see this picture and it speaks to me. I need to be like that. Better. I need to be a better human being. And what can I do to become better? Step 1, step 2, step 3. Go into a bookshop, you Google it. How can I be better? And you see an article on eHow or something like this telling you how to be better. And so here's what you need to do. And our whole society, if you notice, is based on that premise. In order for you to be, you have to do a lot. So before you are allowed to relax, you first have to be really stressed. And if you're not stressed yet, you're hopefully feeling guilty by now that you're not feeling stressed. You must be doing something wrong. So you should push hard so you can become more relaxed. A good friend of mine, he said one time, it's almost like wearing tiny shoes and walk in them for a few miles because it's so nice taking them off. A lot of us are living like this actually. I have to go really stressed so I can relax later. And so we're really stressing out about trying to relax later. Retirement, once I get my girlfriend, my boyfriend, then once I am successful at work, then I can finally relax. Nice, now I'm done. But the trick is, you're never done. You're arriving only temporarily to find out that the next goal is right ahead. So we are really never arriving. Because as soon as you arrive, the mind will come up with the next kind of thing to sell you, which is even better. And once you've got that one, yeah, you'll be fine. It could sell you all kinds of things, like things to add to you. You need to add a lot of things to you, like experiences and feelings. You need more happiness. You need to add stuff to you. Then you'll be more complete. Or it says you need to take away stuff from you. You're not good enough, or there's too much that's wrong with you. You need to take out the wrong stuff. Cut it out with a scalpel. Yep, that's anxiety. Let's throw it into the bin because I don't need that. It's not good. It's anxiety. Let's get rid of it. And then we don't do that only to ourselves, but we also do it to other people. Look at these guys over there. They're bad people. Let's get rid of them. We should get rid of them. They're really bad. And these bad people over there, they're talking about, look at those guys over there. They're really bad. We need to get rid of them. Isn't this what is happening around the world? Everywhere, large and small. The terrorists, they're bad. Let's kill them. We need to get rid of them. And the terrorists, the so-called terrorists, they are also thinking in that way also. We need to get rid of these bad Americans, Europeans, these others who are bad. We need to just kill all of them. Then we will be happy. It's this attitude which is poisoning the entire globe, the entire world. I need to add things and feelings and experiences to myself so I can be complete. Therefore, I go around chasing and destroying this entire place so I can end up whole. If you take away the W of whole, that's more like it. If black hole, that's more like the mind. The mind is like a black hole. It's insatiable. It's never full. And as long as our mind is like this, how can we ever relax? It's no wonder that so many people are depressed and anxious and worried and full of fears and doubts and worries, It's normal. If you go into a mental asylum, then it's normal there to be crazy. For the people in there, it's just a normal state to be crazy. But for people outside, it's like, wow, look at that. This is madness. But once you can step outside of yourself, it'll be the same. You suddenly see how your mind operates. And you see what a madhouse it actually is. How it is never really happy, never really fulfilled. It constantly needs more to add or to take away, get rid of. How can we ever be at peace like this? And it's also one of the most, it's the most skilled salesman or saleswoman, the mind. It's constantly selling you stuff. Look at that, you need that. Oh, look at that, you should get rid of it. You got bugs in your home? We have the solution. You got bugs in your mind, something bugging you? You have the solution. Try meditation. And then we sit down and we try really hard to get rid of the bugs. But it doesn't really work. As long as our attitude of getting rid of and trying to is at work, there is no relaxation, to put it simply. So we have to slowly learn to allow. And that's quite a difficult thing for us, because we are mostly at war with the present. We are at war with what is, constantly trying to make it change. For example, you might have a feeling coming up, like anxiousness or anxiety. And then immediately at the same time, there's also the attitude that is like, oh, there is anxiety, I need to push it away, I need to get rid of this. And with that, we are feeding into the anxiety. We are resisting it and give it strength. Do you know that saying, what you resist persists? It is true. But it is very scary to open up to anxiety. We're not trusting our most powerful quality as a human being, which is awareness. The simple fact that you can be awake. Present. That you can be here as a witness, not as a surgeon. And you have a scalpel and you have a screwdriver and you say, I'm going to change myself now. Not like this, not being here like this, but being here as a loving, kind presence. That, first of all, allows for whatever your heart is carrying right now to be there. You might feel sad, afraid. So what is the first step to do? To allow that. And there is sadness. Sadness is like this. And to take the leap of faith and trust in the seeing, the knowing, the aware quality in our heart. To simply allow for fear to exist. You see how gracious and nice that is. I'm not saying go ahead and express your fears, bother other people with your fears. I simply say allow for fear to exist. And what that does is quite miraculous. It dissolves the fear. Because you're not resisting anymore, you're not fighting anymore, you're not trying to change anymore. You are here as a loving presence. First step. The second step is natural. Once you are here as a loving presence, intuitive and skillful action arises as needed out of that. We call that wisdom in action. So to be a loving, caring presence does not mean that you suddenly freeze and you do nothing anymore. But your action is according to what is needed, very skillful and to the point, helpful, beneficial, nourishing. Because you're not operating from fear anymore. You're operating from presence. It's a totally different game altogether. Does that make sense? At least intellectually. Why do we suffer? We suffer because we are at a war with ourselves. Feeling arises, we fight it. A feeling over there appears, we chase it. How is that peaceful? Trying to chase feelings, trying to chase experiences all the time, because we have an innate sense of lack. That's why we need so much. I need this, I need that. Because I lack. I feel incomplete. Therefore, more is what my life runs on. You need more and more, always more. This sense of more, doesn't it indicate it's never enough? As long as I'm not feeling it's good enough, it's enough, that I need more and more, always more, because I feel so incomplete. And then that more is projected onto things we do, things we have, people we are with. We need more people like this. I need to do more push-ups. I need to do more whatever it is that we do. So I can become someone that is lovable, likable, someone that is acknowledged, accepted, someone that has fun, someone that enjoys himself, because I am not right now. So I need to become it. Does that make sense? If you already are happy, then why do you need to chase happiness? If you already ate food, why would you run after more food? You're already full. So running after more food doesn't make any sense unless you want to kill yourself by eating too much food. But if you're already full, you already ate, no need to run more. You're happy, you're full. So this is like a spiritual disease, I would call it. This spiritual dis-ease is the feeling of not being enough. Who taught you that? Who taught you that you are not good enough the way you are? And why do you keep believing that? Who taught you that life is not good enough the way it is? So you need to make it good. And you keep believing it. Why? The whole world is believing that. And look how the world looks like. Look at global situation, everyone is trying to be happy constantly. Are we there yet? Since thousands of years, everyone tries to be happy. Show me one person that says, no, I'm busy trying to be unhappy. I work a lot because I really want to suffer. Nobody does that. Everyone tries to be happy, even people who blow themselves up. They hope for paradise afterwards. We are looking for it all the time. And while we are looking, we miss the one who looks. We completely miss out. We don't see the seer. What direction do your eyes point? They point away from you, right? So you can only see stuff around you. But we cannot see ourselves. So, and then there is media, there's culture, society, parents, and so forth, telling you that you need to get, you need to become, you need to have, you need to look like, so then you can be complete. You need the new iPhone, you need to eat at KFC or what, then you'll be happy. They show you with nice pictures of happy people eating a burger, being very happy. Or like a beautiful woman holding an iPhone. Like, it's about the phone, but we connect it with something that men particularly like. So then they buy. Did you have a vacuum cleaner and a woman needs to hold it on the poster? Beautiful woman holding the vacuum cleaner. Why? It creates feelings and images and pictures which make you feel like, yeah, that vacuum cleaner, I need to be complete. It's this secret agenda of the mind, seeking to be complete through stuff, through experiences, and sometimes also through other people. Honey, you complete me. I love you because, and now here comes my list. Your eyes, your character, your education, your money, whatever. That's my list. That's why I love you. And so I'm consuming all of these things, like your eyes, your wealth, your humor. I like to consume that, so it makes me feel more complete. So if you're not offering that to me anymore, then sorry. Feel kind of the air is out. Let's put this relationship on ice. Let's stay friends. Like that. Mm-hmm. So there's nothing in it for me anymore. Nothing to get out of it anymore. Feels empty. I need something else. The next. I feel like my happiness lies in being alone by myself now. When I'm alone, I'll be happy. A few months later, is the next relationship. And it goes on and on like this, Always seeking something. Seeking. Maybe even right now, that you're listening to that, maybe you are seeking something. When is he finally saying something intelligible? Doesn't make any sense what he's speaking about. Or maybe say, wow, this is great. I wish I could understand whatever it is that goes through your mind. Still maybe seeking yourself. But you're right here. You're right here. And now the conditioned mind comes in and says, you're here, but not enough yet. You're not quite done yet. It can't be that simple. And it is. We're just not used to such simplicity. We're habituated to great complexity, unnecessary complexity. We're creating whole countries out of the complexity of our minds. The whole system of laws worldwide, I think there is like 3/4 of it is written in German. The worldwide laws, and they all come from the mind. That you have to lock your door at night. It's not that the bodies out there are dangerous. It's who runs those bodies that's dangerous. The mind. So you need to lock the door, you need to stay safe, you need insurance and all that, because the mind keeps creating and creating a desirable future that you need to attain. Is there anyone in this room that has already been to the future? Please tell me, how was it? Would you like to travel back to the past? Then whose past would you like to travel back to? Because past is in our heads. It's different for all of us. The future is in our heads too, isn't it? And it's very promising. You'll get something there later if you just stress out hard enough. Wear those tiny shoes long enough. It'll be really comfortable taking them off. Retirement, it's going to be great. Winning the next fight, that's going to be great. But you are here. And by constantly living in our heads, creating the story of life, the images of where we go, what we will do, and so forth, we completely miss out. We completely miss out on life. Until one day, it's too late, and we're like, whoa, that's already it? Well, we have never been there. Like really there. Accessing life without any storyline whatsoever. Accessing life from silence. This is where it's at. This is your gateway, the door to real deep spirituality, to real deep healing. Being able to just be here. No story, no lack, no need. Just pure presence. This is also where peace is at, where relaxation is at, where you are recharged, where there is energy, where there is happiness and joy naturally. Most of the stuff that we are carrying now as a heavy burden is something we have learned later on in life. You're not coming into this world as a top manager that tries to relax now because I have a burnout, I did too much. It's not stuff we arrive with. It's stuff we learn later. So the key is to access that space again and again. You all made some experiences. You've been here last week, so you all made some experiences already during your regular life. Most probably the experiences were something like, gosh, most of the time I'm really distracted. Or most of the time it's really hard to be just present. I forget myself all the time. That would be what most of us experience in the first time. That most of the time we're living our life within the storyline of our heads, worrying about the future, thinking about the past and so forth. Most of the time we're lost in the movies in our mind. And only occasionally there is this moment where we are like, ah, nice. Do you hear that? the birds. Nice. Do you see that? The nice beach? There's this moment of, we like these things, to go out into nature and to look at the sky, the beach, the forest. We like that because it's a moment of sanity in there. Ah, nice. Takes us out of our mind, just for short. Takes us out of this incessant storytelling in our heads about other people. Look how he looks like. Why is he walking so strangely? These kind of stories in the head, you know. But it takes you back to truth, to what is real right now. That there is feeling, there is sound, there might be taste if you're eating, smell. It is all there. But we hardly ever notice, because we're busy watching movies in the mind. Sometimes I would sit in a car and I'd drive somewhere in Phuket, and after having driven like 15 kilometers or so, I suddenly realized that I have not been present at all, that I've been lost in a story of, for example, what I will teach about when I arrive. And then I go through all the teaching, you know, like what I will say and how awesome it will be, and then I imagine the response of the people and stuff like this. And I'm driving 15 kilometers. Who is driving at this moment? Because I'm really not, I don't even notice that I'm in a car. I totally forgot, seriously. You might notice that also, that sometimes you can be lost in a very strong argument with someone that sits with you in the car. You don't even know that you're driving, but you stop at a red traffic light. And when it's green, you just go with the flow. You just drive, but there's no one really at home driving. You push the pedals, you steer left, right, you know where to go, and all that. It happens almost automatically, while you're thinking through the plot of where I came from and where I go next, and how it will be like. It's quite incredible. Many times I snap back into presence in my day-to-day life, like I'm under the shower and all of a sudden, I'm under the shower. Or I wake up in the morning and the mind directly goes to work. And thinks about what to do next, and then where will I have breakfast today? Maybe we could go there. And thinking about this and that. And all of a sudden I notice, wow, I'm in the bed. It sounds funny, but it just shows just how lost I am up there in the head, in the story about my life, and how rarely I actually am a visitor to life. How rarely I notice that I'm here. And I might just teach and don't even know that I'm talking right now. But now I know, snapping back into presence. Suddenly I'm here as a listener too. I can hear my own voice. And I see the talking goes effortlessly. I don't have to make any effort. It just works. And so we notice this effortlessness of everything in life, effortlessness of emotion, feelings, thoughts, and all that. And we become aware of it. We snap back into wakefulness, into presence. That is the starting of spiritual practice. That space. That's where it all happens. That's where the magic is at. All we need to do is suddenly notice where you are. Suddenly notice how it is. And then stay there. And the rest happens by itself. It's almost like it's a space in which you automatically are pulled up. I could call it the rabbit. It's what pulls you down in the rabbit hole. The rabbit says something funny, actually. It just comes to my mind. It always says, there's no time, right? Alice in Wonderland, there's a rabbit always says, there's no time. That's a very good saying, because when you're present, there is no time. And this is what pulls you down into the rabbit hole of experiencing life to the fullest. And I think everyone really wants that. Really experiencing life to the fullest. Most people talk about it. You got to experience life to the fullest. You need to live every day as if it was your last, but we don't do it. Put it on our fridge. Live every day as if it's the last, but we hardly ever remember that we are alive. When was the last time that you felt the life in your hands, in your feet, in your body, in your breath? When was the last time that you've truly arrived here? It's not so often. That's usually the first thing we notice when we start to practice. Whoops, I'm hardly ever there. Then we get more interested in being more here. And that's the start of a spiritual path. Becoming more interested in seeing what does this moment have to offer. Not the next, but this one. What does this one have to offer? We're not ignoring this moment anymore for the sake of the next moment. It's right here. The Buddha said it very clearly also. Truth is timeless. That means something. It is beyond time. Nothing that is subject to time. Where can we find it? Where can you find something that is timeless? So I leave you with that for contemplation. Keep doing your practice. Do it twice daily at minimum for 30 minutes. Really sitting down and coming to rest. Empowering the mindful quality like this. And then bring it into your day-to-day life. And you'll see week by week, day by day, life becomes more enjoyable, deeper, more fulfilling. And then you have something beautiful to share with your friends. Presence. Your presence. You're not listening to your friend, waiting for him to finish so you can say the next thing. You are listening to your friend. He will love it. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but you simply know. It's good enough. Most people just want you to listen, actually. They're not so interested in you talking. Most people need you to listen. To be there for them. Most of all, I need to listen to myself. That's what I do when I meditate. I deeply listen to myself without superimposing anything. I'm not here as a dictator. I'm here. All right? So I think it's enough for today.